I did an article basically on the thesis around Ansem the coin and why I think it's different than anything that's been done before. And I'll just read. Let me see how long this shit is. I'll read some of it. I'll read the intro. Yeah, I'll read the intro. So I said meme coins have proven to be successful in attracting retail speculation through deeply passionate communities, but have failed to produce sustained activity post-peak attention. Creators have proven to be successful in producing sustained revenues around diehard community of fans, but to date, there has not been a way to speculate directly on a creator's influence and impact. Ansem is the first real attempt at combining these two distinctly different things into one coin that aligns token holders around a unified mission and network. The mission is to be the largest singular or on-chain onboarding event in crypto history, while creating a network of people curious about trading markets, maintaining sovereignty around their finances, and contributing value back to the crypto ecosystem. I believe that tokenization can be uniquely effective here in combining these two novel primitives into a sustainable model that benefits both creators, speculators, and fans. So yeah, that's the gist of it. As you guys know, meme coins have gone crazy the past few years. Last year on Solana, bonking with most well-known. Before that, in 2020 and 2021, Dogecoin went to fucking 88 billion. And the creator economy has been growing a fuck ton, estimated to be a fucking $2 trillion market over the next 10 years. And nobody really has been able to tap into how to speculate on that market growing. Like it's really not been possible yet. I think Bitcoin and Solana particularly are at really crucial support levels. Bitcoin retesting its all-time highs from like the 2021 cycle around like 58K, 60K. Also a main consolidation from 2024, like a crucial support level. And there was a lot of fear around the Saylor situation. So people were concerned that Saylor, he has like 40 billion in Bitcoin. They don't know how he's going to pay off these preferred shares. He got this situation that he spoke about maybe having to sell some. And when he spoke about that, Bitcoin sold off from like 75K down to 60K. But what happened was people front ran being concerned with him selling. And he was able to raise some cash by selling more of MicroStrategy shares. Right now, they have like 20 months plus worth of runway and won't have to sell a lot of Bitcoin anytime soon. They sold 200 million Bitcoin, I think, last week, and price actually is up from where they sold at, which is kind of indicative of the fear and everything already being priced in. I think a lot of the selling has already happened. So that's a really crucial like level and sentiment bottom. I think what happened is you saw cash-heavy TradFi buyers step in and start to allocate towards crypto. Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, honestly. Hype has been outperforming on its own, but the majors really have been lagging behind. And I think it's a really great spot where you could see some capital rotation happen. I kind of spoke about how I thought Micron was topped a few weeks ago, and it is down like 30% from its all-time highs. And memory stocks have been dominating performance in risk the past year or so. And so there's a lot of unrealized and realized gains happening there. And I think the crypto's in a really great place to see a rotation happen, especially if we can get some tailwinds around like some consumer breakout applications or like some metrics that look great. Solana on-chain metrics recently hit all-time highs across the board last week. Hyperliquid still dominating and doing well. You have Lighter and Robinhood announcing their partnership. Robinhood's L2 and Lighter is going to be the perps platform for like Robinhood users outside the US. So there's a ton of like institutional capital that's focused on crypto right now. At the same time, the CT sentiment is really poor. And typically when you have a divergence like that, it's a great place for a bottom. I think there's a lot of sideline CT crypto native capital that is predicting we bottom in Q4 because of the crypto 4-year cycle that everybody predicts has happened pretty consistently the past like decade.
You included Rhino in your top 25 CT accounts of all time, and yeah, he's a guy who I know that we respect on the show.
Yeah, super smart guy. We can talk about charts if you want. I actually think Solana's in a really great place to long right now. It's retesting the bottom of the range and also the like medium time frame range it broke out from, like 75, 76. Yeah, I think it's actually in a really good spot. Okay. Yeah. I feel like we've talked about this chart so many times now. I just keep talking about the same fucking levels. We fucking 80 to like 83 resistance, touch that resistance, pull back, and now you have this range here from like 75 to 60. Resistance here, resistance, breakout, and now it's retesting this area. You don't want to see this shit lose the Q3 open, which I talked about last week. I think trading back under 73 would be a bad sign. You want to see show some strength here, which I think is what we're going to see. But yeah, I like Sol. I like Sol here. I like Sol here. I don't know why freaking Hyperliquid sold off hella hard today though. Last time we were on stream, I gave this setup. I said, I think we were around here. I was like, pull back into 65. And this would have got stopped out if you took this long. This is actually one of the things that I actually am concerned about right now, because Hyperliquid has been the leader for coins for majority of this year and this like mini cycle that we've been in, and it's been pretty weak here. So yeah, this is like a warning sign for me, Hyperliquid being weak here. I don't know if it's because like people are focusing lighter or just people in general de-risking. The thing is with Hyperliquid, it has been a lot more correlated to TradFi and equities. Like equities have been going up, and then Hyperliquid has been going up alongside equities, and equities have been pretty weak. Like equities have been selling off. I talked about Micron being weak. It's down like 30%. Intel's pretty weak. Yeah, basically all memories is down.
And yeah, you say here that they don't.
Yeah, buybacks don't work in the way that people think they do. I think people think just if a company's making X amount of revenue and they direct X portion of those revenues to buying back the token or buying back the stock, then it'll definitely go up and will 100% go up. That's not necessarily true. I think more so what I was saying with this tweet is like what the buybacks for Hyperliquid signify to their user base is more so like a social alignment and trust thing more than it is the actual dollar value of how many tokens that they're buying back on the market. Like Hyperliquid not promising anything with their airdrop and just giving it out to their core user base on certain metrics that they predetermined, and then continuously buying the token back with whatever it is, 97% of their revenues, is more so aligned everybody that the token is the most important part of their business, and that they're aligned socially with all their core users, not necessarily the dollar value amount of revenue that they're buying back, which also is important. But there are other companies who do buybacks and are doing buybacks where it doesn't have as big of an impact. And I think the reason that it doesn't have a big of an impact is for two reasons. One, they could be spending that money a lot more effectively than just buying back the token. They could be doing better hiring. They could be doing better marketing. They could be expanding their business lines to other things. And then I would say the second reason is that like they don't have as high of a trust score that something like Hyperliquid does. And I reference Pump specifically in this because Pump promised that they were going to do an airdrop. They obviously have not done that airdrop, and their core user base kind of feels like they were slighted in that they weren't rewarded for helping the platform make $1 billion in revenue and then do $1 billion ICO. And if the platform users is not aligned with the company, it's obviously a lot difficult for people to be bullish on the token. So that's essentially what I was saying. It was like this trust score, like trust value is more so what the buybacks are signifying rather than just like the dollar value amount. I think another thing that people were referencing in the post, which I also kind of mentioned a bit, is like how durable the revenues are of whatever business is. So buybacks can vary depending on what people think the business is going to do in the future and how they're going to grow those revenues and how consistent those revenues are. So that's another piece of it. But I would say more so than anything, it's like the trust piece and the social alignment piece.
Good answer.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit, but I think the differentiator here is pretty crazy. Like Hyperliquid is making 800 mil a year right now. Pump.fun's making 440 mil a year right now. Hype trades at 65 billion FTV, and Pump trades at 1.4 bill FTV. Like that's a huge difference for only double the revenue, clearly. So people, one, don't believe in the future of Pump's business, or two, like I said, it's like the trust premium the Hyperliquid has over Pump.fun. But I think it's possible to shift this. I just think it's going to take a lot of work on the Pump.fun team side. But I do think it's possible for sure. And I do think if you're betting on like attention and volume coming back to Solana, then they obviously should be one of the main beneficiaries of that. So that's kind of the thoughts on this, but they have a lot of work to do for sure. Yeah, the chart is pretty bad. I think above this range low, like if you can close through this like cluster here, it probably the cleanest. So CXMT, it got listed on Hyperliquid, I think yesterday actually. Yeah, yesterday. So they're planning their like IPO soon, and CXMT is, as I said, like the Chinese or
what's
China
their market cap
version
versus Micron?
of Micron. I think I don't know what it's expected to IPO. I know that this market right now is trading like 6x higher than what it's expected to IPO at.
Wow.
Actually, I need to look it up. Let me look it up. But it's crazy because Hyperliquid, again, is like the only place you can speculate on that market before it IPOs. They did the same thing with Cerebras. They did the same thing with SpaceX. And now we're doing this again with CXMT. And it's been a trend that Hyperliquid is kind of dominating the price discovery for all these assets. And it's the only place where you can trade them before they IPO, which is pretty cool. This guy, Zephyr, he's one of the analysts for Citrini. If you guys don't know Citrini, one of the best like stock newsletters. They write a ton on AI. And this guy works for them as an analyst. He's saying the CXMT IPO, they're IPOing at 80 billion market cap, and their revenue is going to be 50 billion to 60 billion range this year, which is
that's insane.
Obviously fucking crazy and obviously wrong. So on Hyperliquid Trade XYZ, that is like they enable the trading of the pre-IPO perps, and on Trade XYZ, it's trading obviously a lot higher than that. I think the 80 billion market cap was like 1.5 or something dollars share price. Let me see the fucking 1.28. So the market, so expected to IPO at fucking 1.28 per share at like 80 billion, and on Hyperliquid it's trading at 6.92. So obviously way higher than what they're trading at, but that's because people are like, bro, they're making this much fucking money. Obviously that price doesn't make sense. And I think this has been good for just markets in general, for like finding where these assets should actually be priced at. A lot of the last IPOs that traded on Hyperliquid before they IPO'd, they actually kind of settled a lot.
I mean, you said it earlier in the show a couple different times, but
there's in trading, there's like two ways that you make a lot of money. The first way is by seeing around corners and finding a fundamental thesis that the market doesn't see yet and the general consensus is against, and betting on that early and betting on it with size. That's much more difficult for the average person to do. But if you can do that, that's how you make like super normal returns, because once the market shifts from something being non-consensus to consensus, that's when you'll get everybody else who was not allocated to allocate towards that idea, and you're obviously going to make a fuck ton of money because you were the first one to have, or one of the first people to have that idea.
What's the second one?
The second one, I would say, is like learning how to ride momentum and trade the consensus ideas before they top. Like, so when an idea in trading becomes consensus, right? You're not going to catch the bottom, but when it becomes consensus, it usually stays consensus for a certain amount of time. And what a lot of traders do, who are like really strong technical traders, they're able to identify when these trends are beginning and then get out before those trends are ending. So like consensus can say consensus for a really long time, but if you enter at the time when it's like just becoming consensus and just try and like, don't try and buy the bottom, don't try and sell the top, try to catch the meat in the middle. I think that's like two ways that people make a lot in trading.
And you can apply these principles to your like.
It seems like Hype is not currently the leader right now, or maybe it's just a really, really crazy consolidation. Obviously, it's not broken out of the range yet. I don't know why I'm surprised though. Hype always trades like shit. It's very choppy. It's just like a slow uptrend. It never trends really hard. I don't know why I expected it to now. Like all in here, it's just like choppy uptrend, choppy uptrend, choppy uptrend, choppy uptrend, and sell off. Yeah, I wouldn't really like de-risk spot necessarily. I don't think here. It's kind of like a weird spot, and it's still in the same range. It's basically just consolidating here. But this is a clear sign it's not leading anymore for me. For sure. ETH looks decent. ETH actually looks good for first time in a long time. Same time as Kobe's taking over base and Brian's supporting memes on basis. Interesting, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. It is interesting. You guys know I'm always bear ETH, but I think it's a good spot right now, to be honest. I think it's a good spot. I'm bullish. I mean, I'm bullish all crypto majors right now. I'm bullish Bitcoin, bullish ETH, bullish Sol. Yeah, I think this is in a good spot. I just think, bro, there's so many people who fucking de-risk everything in crypto and slam stocks. I really, really, really genuinely think that we're gonna see a rotation back to crypto. Genuinely, really do think that. I'm trying to read the chat, but it's moving too fast. Please stop spamming the same messages over and over. Please, I'm begging. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Yeah, I guess I'll give both cases. I'll give bear case and I'll give the bullish case. Bear case is we haven't reclaimed this weekly resistance yet. This is a lower low, and we're consolidating here before breaking down further. That's the bear case. That's not what I think is currently happening. But if that were to happen, how I would position and play it, you kind of be expecting this high here of 67.3K to be the swing high that we're not breaking above. And anything into here, you'd be looking for like a failed breakout to kind of like re-enter short on this, or this would be where you're de-risking. I don't think that's the case. I think we're just consolidating here before going up, but that would be the trade. The short I would take would be something like that. As far as right now, like, I don't know. Loki feels like we want to test lower before going higher. I think it's just going to be really choppy. My opinion on majors, like the bottom was in, that was the capitulation. We have stocks weakness right now, and it's just going to be a choppy uptrend for like the next few months. That's kind of where I'm at. And like where I'm wrong on that, obviously, is if we trade beneath the swing low right here, 58K on like high time frame levels. That's like where I would be wrong if we're trading beneath this. I'm probably looking at like, yeah, 52 and then 48 would be the main levels. I'm not currently betting on that. And then somewhere in here would be like the no shot it goes deeper than like the 40s, mid 40s. Yeah, but I think we're just in a choppy uptrend right now. That's my bet right now. And I said before, like confirmation would be weekly above here, and if we get weekly above like 66K, so obviously the people who are most long-term aligned with the network are the people I want to airdrop to. So I've thought about implementing something like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. But I have all the metrics on like hold time, like X impressions. I have all that. So yeah. Somebody said anybody dropping a wallet in here would sell. Do I play Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, I played it a lot growing up. I don't really play it right now. But yeah, that's where my name Ansem comes from. It comes from Ansem Heart. Ansem from Kingdom Hearts. Ansem the Wise and Ansem Seeker of Darkness. Please stop spamming the same messages over and over. You're killing me. I'm trying to read the chat. I'm a smart gentleman. I appreciate that, bro. I do. I appreciate that. Chat pending since Tuesday. Rodrito, yes, I am gonna message you today. I remember this. So only the popular kids with money getting an airdrop. No, it's not true. Bro, I'm telling you, I was airdropping people manually by hand. I sent out, I don't even know how many millions of dollars to like 1,000 people, but I literally had an Excel spreadsheet and I was by hand clicking every single person and sending it out. And I was like, well, this obviously doesn't scale to 130,000 wallets. I tweeted this, bro. I was just like journaling all my trades and shit. And Yeah, this was one of the ones I took way back when. So, I mean, it was pretty simple TA setup, to be honest. It was like this all-time low here, 1.37, retested it here in November. And then you had the deviation. This is my favorite trade by far, like the deviation beneath a very important support level and then a reclaim. So it closed the daily back above another green daily. And then like this demand area, like the last two red daily candles before it broke out or reclaimed. Plus the retest of this key support level, like here and here. That was a setup. And yeah, I tweeted this shit. It only got like 20 likes or something at the time, but yeah, I like this entire thread. I was just like journaling this trade. So this was the Sol BTC and this was the Sol USD. And like right after I fucking took this position is when it started moving with like 1.8 immediately next day. Yeah, and it just like ripped, bro. And it was even like I wasn't even just calling the lows, but I also called like where I thought it was gonna top and pull back. Like I was like, okay, just doubled. Things that take some off, pulled back, started buying it back. And I just like journaled this entire trade. This was like why I got a lot of followers in 2020 and 2021. Yeah, it was just like the entire from 1.5 to fucking all the way up, bro. I was like in and out of this on the way, but this was the trade that made me like a lot of my money in crypto. How did I start trading? I started trading in 2017. I was working as a software engineer at Capital One, and I had a mentor who was like, "You're a really good engineer. You should also learn how to trade." That's why I started trading crypto. I was trading on Bittrex, trading on BitMEX. I read the Technical Analysis of Financial Markets book by John J. Murphy. And really just learned. I mean, weekly bias, and you have your daily bias, right? So my bias for the month in Q3 was that I think this is the bottom. So I think 58 to 60K is the bottom. Obviously, if the Q3 is opening right here, I'm trying to get long somewhere around here because it shouldn't spend a lot of time beneath the monthly open if I think the monthly open is going to be bullish. So that was generally right. If you go down to like the lower time frames, it literally did not spend a lot of time. It wicked beneath and immediately ripped up. Yeah, so that's like the monthly. I would say, I guess what I would have been looking for if I was telling you guys what, like how I would have been trying to take along here. You have this low, and it looks easy to bid this as it's happening, but if you go back in time, like when this was actually occurring, this hourly candle at one point was red. So like at one point, I'll go to the 1 minute. It actually wasn't down here for very long, but like this was a red hourly candle at one point. And so when you think about how candles form, like obviously they're the green or red, and then the wick is the lowest part of the candle, wick to the top is the highest part of the candle. So when you have a candle forming and it's like beneath a really important level, but it's a higher time frame candle, hourly obviously is not that high, but like a daily or something like that, you typically are looking to position, and your stop loss isn't necessarily price based, it's more so like time based, because you know if there's going to be a wick forming during the time it's beneath a very key level, you have a X amount of time that it should close back above, right? So this hourly, it was like 9 o'clock, started here at like 58.5, and then at 9, 10, 9, 15, it was below this level. So obviously you do need some kind of like price stop if you have high leverage on the position, but it's more so like, okay, I think this hourly or 4 hour is going to close back above, I'm only need to be in this position for like max 40, 30 minutes from here. And I can kind of manage it in that time frame. And if I'm wrong, and obviously it doesn't close back above, then I know I'm like wrong on the idea. But the time frame of like, okay, during this time frame, I know like if I'm waiting for it to close back above the hourly to be bullish, then I know I should be looking for a trade relatively quick. I think hype is trading like this because competition is heating up. It's possible. I mean, it's definitely possible, but I think more so that it's just like consolidating. It's not like, I guess that there definitely is a possibility that like lighter, but the volumes, if you look at the volumes between lighter and hyperliquid, it's really not even close yet. I guess you could say in theory that maybe in the future lighter could dominate with Robinhood, and I do think that lighter's a good spot, but I don't think it's right now because people are like, oh, I'm going to use lighter instead of hyperliquid. I don't think that's why it's underperforming. I think more so it's that it's up a good bit this year and it's just consolidating and reaccumulating. You got to think, this was the only fucking coin going up this year. It went from 20 to fucking nearly 80 on size. Like people are up a lot on this. And it's really just consolidating. Even in May, it went from 40 to 80. That's a 2x. That's significant. Yeah, I do think this trades back to like the lows, back to around here. It's funny because every time I say this on hype, like every time I'm like, oh, it looks like it's gonna go back to range lows. I said it right here. And then it fucking chop, ripped again. I think right here, I was like, yeah, it's gonna go to like 40s and then reclaim this level. It's pretty tricky, bro. It's very choppy to trade. I'm not gonna lie. It's very choppy to trade. That's why you always want to do business at the most important levels, bro. Like you want to avoid diddling in the middle. I don't know if you guys know that term. Don't diddle in the middle. Like this is very clearly the important level, and retested this, close back below. Okay, I'm out. This very clearly the key support levels before this high, and look where it bottomed at. The same support levels. Even if you thought it was going to break down here, once you have this reclaim, this is when you bid. I think this is honestly the hardest trade for people to take, is like when it looks terrible like this. And you guys literally saw me tweet this. I think I tweeted like, I think I tweeted literally all profiles for any address, balance, rank, airdrop status observed by Selflow. Every profile link unfurls into a live share card on X. Crazy. Top buyers and sellers leaderboard with 1 hour to 24-hour windows, backed by a durable per wallet flow ledger, first-time buyer cohorts with hold time sentiment versus net flow correlation, daily top 100 churn, etc., et cetera, et cetera. Watch list with alerts. That means you can start any wallet anywhere and get pinged the moment it prints. Wow. Whale outflows marked directly on the candles. Command K supports wallet lookup, and fully public API docs are live at bullpen.xyz/docs. That's cool. Even got an API. The Ansem wallet got its own command center tracking subpage, including deep airdrop forensics. Oh man, you guys are gonna track everything I send out. The big one, meet the bullpen. Oh wait, I called it the bull, bro. What the fuck? Sign up with extra Solana wallet all through Privy, fully optional. Claim your wallet and earn verified badges, holding tier, OG airdrop tier, time hands. Computer from on-chain snapshots. Oh wow, he did hella shit. A game? 2 games. Crypto native endless runner where the live tape sets the pace. When the market rips, the game gets faster. Every score is replayed server side from your inputs, so the board cannot be cheated. Scalp minigame, a second game where you have to read the chart, buy dips, sell tops, 8 shots each way. Duels. Wow. 6 daily markets, build your own dashboard from 13 terminal modules, season prize pools. Bro, this dude built, are you see this? This is crazy. What the fuck? Wow. You see how much cool shit people just build when you give them like incentives? I've never talked to this guy about this at all. Never talked to him once about this. That's crazy. Wow. This is actually cool as fuck. Yeah, this is dope. That's really, really fucking fire, actually. I'm mad he called it the bullpen. Damn, how the fuck, where'd my shit go? I'm mad he called it the bullpen. He could have called it something else. That's the only thing. This is pretty cool. Oh, we're up 2K holders today. A little sick. We had a lot of people saw the big positions. Yesterday, dude, full clip, like 2 mil into the chart. The second biggest holder, well, outside of me, I guess the biggest holder. So 1%, like one clip. It's good though, better distribution. You want a lot more holders and a lot less supply concentrated in single wallets. That's the ideal spot at like early stage. I will be back next week. You guys have a good one. I'm out of here.